Whew, that thing's hard to take off. Mess up your hair. Ugh. Anyway, be sure to look at this video to see how I made this Viking helmet. I kind of went with a more historically accurate look, sort of. Obviously, these aren't riveted chainmail, but I don't hate myself that much. And honestly, this isn't going to stop anything that's going to be thrown at me, because nowhere around where I live is going to be throwing, you know, spears and arrows at me. Or really anything. People don't generally throw things at each other anymore. Well, I mean, unless maybe, you know, New York or something, but around where I live, people are, you know, decently civilized. So either way, though, I thought it was kind of a cool design. You don't really see too many that have like the chainmail wrap around them, although I think there were a couple historically found that were that way. I always thought that was cool, so I decided to make it. Spent way too long trying to make the chainmail myself. Took like 200 feet of wire here, but I think it was worth it in the end. Kind of hard to take on and off though, but either way, it's a fun build and hope you enjoy. Gotta put this thing back on, carry it. Okay, so it's been probably like 6, 7, maybe even almost 8 years now I think about it, since I've made any sort of like helmets or anything. So it's definitely some change of skill, but got some steel here, just old saw blade and some like 16 gauge steel. Nothing fancy. Again, it's a Viking helmet. I think they were typically iron, so, or at least from the research I could find. But either way, I'm also not going like super historically accurate. I'm gonna try and keep it like shaped historically. This is more or less historically accurate, but again, it's not gonna be like a hardened steel or anything like that. So either way, I got that. I mainly got the saw blade because I needed something that was long enough. I need basically 2 feet to go around, you know, the ring of my head. And then I need like 2 16-inch strips to go across the top. So hopefully I've got enough steel for that, as well as, you know, got to make the plates. So basically I'm going to start by making the, I guess, frame for it with the saw blades, which I'm going to have to cut out a chunk and then heat it up and bend it, because since it's heat treated, it's flexible, and that's going to make it difficult to just bend. So from there, we'll see how it goes. So I got my ring made. It's gonna be my base. I had to make it more oval instead of a circle. At first, just a complete circle, then it just looked stupid. So I had to fit it a little bit. Now I got these 2 strips. These are like 16 inches long, which one will go from front to back, then we'll just go from side to side, and that'll just kind of be my, I guess, frame of the helmet. So from there, I will have to make the plates. So
basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to form these. Then I'm going to drill all the holes for the rivets. But I'm going to have to go do that at my dad's because my drill press is not big enough. So got to get this done tonight so I can do it tomorrow after I get done filming. Now that I have a bunch of holes drilled, it's going to take this 3/16 rod, same size as the holes, and then just rivet things together. I was going to drill a lot more holes, but I think I'm going to use my welder just for a few of the internal pieces. Again, I want it to look mostly historically accurate. It just doesn't have to be 100% historically accurate because, in all honesty, this isn't going to actually work against anything I would need, so... yeah, I just got tired, you know, don't drill a bunch of holes at the end of a long day.
Okay, so I got the main part of the helmet made. It's I mean, it's pretty solid. Seems to stay on decently well. Little little low. So I'll probably have to grind that out a little bit when I make the, mask part. But other than that, only took me about a week.
Quick thing I did well, I almost said a quick thing I did real quick, obviously. Either way, basically I had this like kind of owl-shaped mask that's gonna go on the front here. I was going to make it out of the same 16 gauge steel. Unfortunately, I was out. So this is just some 22 gauge, or 20 gauge, I think it's 22 gauge. Same stuff used for making roses, but fortunately for me, I was able to cut with some tin snips, pretty easy. Cut these eye holes, filed them, all that. So basically all I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of shape. I'll probably put a nice crease down the center. Heat cycle it a few times, say with a hammer, just kind of make it a little rougher so it's not this like just smooth and yet rusted look. That won't take long. Then I'll probably tack weld on place and drill and rivet it. Then from there, I just have to do the chainmail. So I was getting ready to do some video editing and realized I pretty much completely messed up the final bit of showing when I made this. But basically, I just weld this on because I started getting lazy after spending way too long on this part. So just tack weld in place. The male is the same way, tack weld underneath. Essentially, I just, knitted it together, just ring after ring, just use my drill to make them, just cut them apart with wire cutters. It took 2 weeks to do this. This whole thing took about a week. This took 2. Yeah, it was worth it, but goddamn, that took a long time.
So yeah, that's my Viking helmet. It's kind of difficult to take on and off just because of the way the chainmail sits, but once it's on, it's not too bad. I just put on my shop bandana to wear it. Just kind of keeps everything directly off the top of my head, and kind of protects my ears a little bit. But typically, you would have worn like a hood with it, like a padded hood. I can't remember the exact name of them. But either way, this is a fun build. Took me a week to make the actual helmet and 2 weeks to make the chainmail. But either way, it's kind of a neat little build, something a bit different. So now I'm gonna see if I can get this put on, kind of show you how it looks wearing it. Kind of gotta get the chainmail in the right positioning here. Pull it over your face. Shake it a bunch of times. There we go. It's pulled down. Put it, in my collar. There we go. Now I'm ready to go invade England or something. I don't know. I feel like I need a Viking sword now. That should be a future project, a Viking sword.